Julie Anderson is an in-demand international public speaker, wielding her expertise in brain science to bring solution-based training into organizations for business, communications, team building, and leadership results, such as increasing productivity, preventing conflicts, and improving organizational structures. As one of the nation's leading experts in the area of the brain-personality connection, Julie is a highly effective business and career coach, guiding individuals to uncover their natural gifts and stand in their power. When they do, they have tremendous success in their lives, relationships, and careers. As established brain authority in the media, Julie has been interviewed by ABC, Fox, UPN, and is a frequent expert guest on many radio networks. Julie has done extensive research in the area of personality types, brain functions, and anatomy, brain health, and the brain-personality connection. She has studied natural health, psychology, human resource development, and, oh my gosh, psychoneuroimmunology. Did I get it right? Yes! My nerd comes out. With more than 20 years of research, study, mentoring, and sharing the stages with other gurus in the field of brain-personality connection, with postgraduate studies in the field of depression, anxiety disorders, and brain function, Julie has continued her learning to maintain her expertise in this field. She's also a professional interpreter for the deaf. Awesome! I have 3 sisters who are deaf, so I also have interpreted in the past. Yeah, I'm not professional, but I do my best. Julie Anderson brings more than 15 years of experience speaking, training, and consulting with individuals and up to large corporate organizations, utilizing brain-personality connection and uniquely blending science and psychology with humor, nice after lunch, right? And relatability in her keynote presentations and interactive workshops. So get ready to stimulate your brain. Please welcome Julie.
All right, so let me ask everybody, could anybody right about now use a little bit more brain power? Yeah. Sorry, I didn't bring my extra brains with me. I forgot them. It's normally at this point that I would toss out a bunch of little purple brains to you. Get your brain engaged. I do that for 2 reasons. 1, to get you to pay attention to me, and 2, to help you to visualize the topic of what we're talking about. So in lieu of not having my purple brains to toss at you, I want everybody to just real quick close their eyes, and I just want you to think about the cerebrum. I want you to envision in your head that gray matter, as it's often called. I want you to think about the bumps, the curves, the left hemisphere, the right hemisphere. I want you to think about the neurons firing every time you have a cognitive thought. And go ahead and open your eyes. I do this because I want you to be able to clearly understand the neuroscience behind what I'm going to share with you today. You see, over the last couple of decades, there has been tremendous growth in the field of brain research because we have these amazing technical scanning machines of the brain, and they can find out so much more than what they ever thought was possible to know. And what is really cool is that we can funnel this down into information that you and I can use in our day-to-day life. So what we're going to talk about today is your innate brain wiring. According to current scientific research, this is coded in your individual DNA. And when you become intimately connected with your innate brain wiring, you are able to achieve more success in life, business, and in relationships. To help you understand how your brain has an innate natural wiring, I want you to take and put down your pens and papers for a minute, and I want you to fold your hands like so. Some of you have the left thumb on top, like me. Who has the left thumb on top like me? You folks are good to go. The rest of you, can we talk privately afterwards? No, I'm just teasing. It's no different, right? It's just the way your brain tells your hands to fold. Now what I want you to do is I want you to flatten your hands out and intertwine your fingers just the opposite. How does that feel? Odd, awkward, right? It doesn't feel right. Do the same with your arms. Kind of fold them like, like you're angry. Some of you have the right arm on top, some have the left arm on top. No difference in intelligence or brain lead or anything like that. It's just the way your brain naturally tells your arms to fold. Now try to do it just the opposite, without hitting the person sitting next to you, by the way. Can't do it. A lot of people can't do it. It's very difficult. So what this helps you to understand is there's a natural way that you do things. It doesn't take any thought for you to do it that way. It just flows because that's the way your brain is wired. But to fight against it and to do it the opposite way, it not only is physically uncomfortable, but you're never naturally going to do it that way because it takes extra, in order to do it that way, it takes extra thought. Every single cognitive thought takes oxygen, glucose, and micronutrition. So wouldn't you rather spend your life not having to think about success and just letting it flow versus having to fight every day to get it? That's the key to understanding your brain-personality connection. Now, there are 5 facets to the brain-personality connection. One is your introversion, ambiversion, extroversion level. We can't cover that today. One is your gender difference. Super fun topic. Can't cover that today. One is your communication style, auditory, visual, or kinesthetic. Can't cover that today. One is the nurture. This is the nasty one. This is what pushes you to every day of your life fold your hands the wrong way. Can't cover that today. But what we are going to cover today, in a very brief, very quick nutshell, is a brain quadrant dominance. So I want everybody to do this. Stretch out your fingers. Get them ready to go. Are you ready? You have a handout in front of you. In front of you, it has split into 4 quadrants. You will find colors in each of those quadrants. Those are your 4 main brain quadrants. Okay? These represent the 4 main naturally divided quadrants in your brain. 2 on the left, 2 on the right. In your natural gifted area, the way you naturally fold your hands, you will spend approximately 1/100th the amount of energy to work in your natural gifted quadrant. We're going to talk about those 4 quadrants really quick. I'm going to give you some personality traits that are connected to each of those quadrants. We're going to start up here, front left side. This is the boss quadrant, and you guys can take notes if you would like. Okay? It is the red triangle quadrant. When you are doing things like inductive, deductive reasoning, you are using this section of the brain. Okay, therefore, if this is your natural home, the way you naturally fold your hands, it actually flows in your personality because you're not spending hardly any energy doing it. When you are delegating authority, you are using this portion of your brain. So these individuals are naturally gifted at basically telling people what to do. Okay? Everything over here is fact. Left side of the brain, I'll explain why it's more analytical and fact-based. This is all of your fact-based problem solving. Takes place in this quadrant of the brain. Everything in this quadrant, this is the home of the audible speech, Brocau's area of the brain. So these individuals are oftentimes very articulate, very specific, very to the point with all of their speech. They're gifted in the logical, they're not gifted in the emotional. Okay? Goal setting and achieving is in this section of the brain. So these people are very gifted at setting their goals and achieving them. They're gifted at using tools. And those tools can be people. So they're gifted at using people to achieve their goals. Now, their color and shape is a red triangle. They're a red triangle because out of all the 4 quadrants of the brain, they are the strongest personality. And red is a very strong, passionate color. And that represents the boss, BQD, very well. Now, they're a triangle because sometimes their personality can be a little bit prickly. Okay? I give the example of my sister. I'm one of five daughters. I'm right in the middle. I was with my sister next to me, right above me. She's 2 years older than me. I was out probably a decade ago or so. And we were shopping, and we were noticing, we'd sat down for lunch, and we kind of started this conversation about how cool it was that, or how interesting I should say it was, that the clothing styles that were back in vogue, if you will, were the same as they were in the early 80s. And I made the comment, I was like, you know what, Chris? If I just would lose 50 pounds, I could take all those clothes that I have stored under my bed, and I'd have a whole new wardrobe, never spend a penny, and no one would be the wiser, and I'd be totally in fashion. My red triangle sister looked straight at me. She goes, Julie, get rid of those clothes. You're never going to lose the weight. You're just wasting space. Now, thankfully, I had my logical brain override my emotional brain, and my brain personality connection training went into practice because it saved her from a trip to the hospital and me from a night in the jail cell, right? Because my initial desire was to go right for her throat. However, my brain went red triangle, right? Inductive, deductive, fact-based reasoning. Ladies and gentlemen, I have 3 boys, beautiful children. They're all grown now. My youngest decided to come into the world at 22 and a half inches, 9 pounds, 14 ounces. These hips are not the same width they were before I had 3 children. Okay? So statistically speaking, my sister was thinking totally logically, right? You're wasting space, use it for something else. She did not mean to hurt my feelings. This was her gift. And she was just sharing it with me. Okay. We are now going to go on, moving on, to the back left, or the posterior left, and this is the master coordinator section of the brain. And the reason why I call it the master coordinator section of the brain is because this is where all of your organizing takes place, all of your coordinating, all organizing, all of the sequencing takes place. Fact-based sequencing, memory sequencing, spelling. The Renwick's area of the brain is right here. And so this is where CAT, sequence of letters, right, is housed. It's right back here. Sequencing, organizing, details. This is where all of the details are housed in your brain. This is where time and money is tracked, is in this section of the brain. Okay? So individuals that fold their hands naturally here are gifted in these tasks because they're only spending 1/100th the amount of energy to work there. They are the blue square. They are blue because the great thing about the master coordinator is that they are incredibly trustworthy. Incredibly trustworthy. If you ask them to do a task for you, they will do it. They will not agree to do it if they don't have the time or the money to do it. But if they agree to do it, you can trust that they're going to do it, and they're going to do it in detail, and they're going to do it exactly organized the way that it should be done. And it's a square because everything in their life is organized and compartmentalized. All right? Because that's their gift. Now we're going to jump to the right side of the brain. Interesting thing about the right side of the brain is that it has many more neural connections to the limbic system in the brain. The limbic system of the brain is the home of emotion. Therefore, they see, experience, and feel more emotion than the other brain quadrants. The most emotional of that is the back right. The back right is the nurturer. Okay? This is where all of your nurturing tasks take place. Nurturing, peacekeeping takes place here. Harmonizing, literally, this is harmonizing, is the home of music, is housed in this section of the brain. So they're naturally gifted in music, but they're also naturally gifted in harmonizing people, places, and things. Okay? They are very connected to nature. They are very connected to people. And they love to connect through words, through emotions. They're all about connection. They are the green circle. The green circle, green because green is a very calming color in the brain, and circle because everything in life is connected to them. Okay, that is the back right. Now we're going to go to the last of the 4 quadrants. That is the front right. These are your innovators. The innovator, or the innovator quadrant of the brain, this is where all of your out-of-the-box thinking takes place. This is where all of your innovation, creative brainstorming takes place in this portion of the brain. Okay? All of your daydreaming, they're gifted at daydreaming. This is where you use internal visualization here in this quadrant of the brain. Their color and shape is the purple imagination bubble. Purple because it's kind of the mystical, and that's where the mystical is in the brain. Imagination bubble because this is where all of the imagination takes place. Thoughts, they love this, okay? So what I want you to do now is on another one of your handouts, I'm only going to give you about a minute to do this. The second part of your handout is a mini assessment. I want you to take that assessment. I want you to check off every single line that applies to you with ease. By nature, not by nurture. Not by the classes you've taken, the PhDs that you hold, or the way that you were raised, or your family or societal expectations. Okay? I want you to write what comes naturally, easily to you. Check those lines. Don't give too much thought to it. We don't have a lot of time to do it, so we can't do a lot of internal thinking about this. Just what flows naturally to you. Then I want you to put your totals, and I want you to circle the one that is the highest. Once you have it circled, we're going to have some fun and we're going to split up the room. All right, so I'm going to jump down here. Hopefully I won't make the microphone buzz. We're going to imagine that this room is a brain. Okay, this is a big brain. It is laid out with the front, your anterior lobes here, your posterior lobes there, front and back. Really, really quick. I want all the bosses, the red triangles, to come up in the front left of the room and please stand here. That is section 1. If you scored highest in section 1, go up to the front left portion of the room, or the brain room. If you scored highest in section 2, that is the blue square. I want you to move to the back left portion of the room. If you scored highest in section 3, that is the purple imagination bubble. Come up here to the front right corner of the brain. If you scored highest in section 4, that is the green circle. I want you to go back by Rebecca. If you're tied, I want you to think, what is your ick quadrant? What of the 4 do you like the least? Stand diagonally opposite, and I'll explain that in just a minute. So whatever is your ick quadrant, the one you really, 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 really don't like, and stand diagonally opposite. Okay, so here's where it really becomes applicable in success in your life and business and relationships, okay? Diagonally opposite section of the brain is your ick quadrant. It is your ick quadrant because this is where you do not naturally fold your arms. You do not naturally fold your hands. As a matter of fact, it takes 100 times as much energy for you to work in the functions over here. It takes 100 times as much energy for you to work in those functions. So, red triangles have to be really, really careful in life, business, and relationships that they don't pop the green circles, right? Because it happens. When you are addressing business transactions, you can't think sender, you have to think receiver. When you are in sales, incredibly important, you cannot go to them with a big picture. They want the details. You cannot go to them with the details. You'll lose them instantly. Okay? Does this make sense? It all has to do with energy expenditure in the brain. Okay, I'd love to go into this more, but we're running out of time, so everybody back to their seats. So remember that one fact, because that is incredibly important. Diagonally opposite is 100 times as much energy, and it is ick. And if you're constantly spending that much time, you are wearing your immune system out, and you could very possibly get sick. So now I want to tell you what I've got for you. All right, I'm going to give each one of you, if you want to give me your business card, I'm going to give you the digital copy of the Increased Sales by Attracting the Mind. This is specifically about your communication styles: auditory, visual, kinesthetic, how to sell. Specifically, if you want that, give me your business card. And I would love to have some help from you. This is powerful information. I have a powerful 2-day event. It is called the Mind-Blowing, Life-Transforming Event because it is just that. During this event, we take you everywhere from the 5 portions of the brain personality connection and how to transform your life, your business, and your relationships. Yes. In this 2-day event, we do mind map your business plan, we storybook your relationships, we do everything we can to get you to be able to apply this hardcore information. We make it fun, we do brain games, we just have a blast. My next one is April 14th and 15th. It is in the Sacramento area. It is still on the early bird registration, which means that it is $50 off. But for this group, if you put down a deposit today, it is an additional $100 off, which takes a $397 price tag, which is fully, that's because I cater it completely both days, takes it down to $250. If you would like that, I will also do a brain personality connection assessment as my gift back to you. And ladies and gentlemen, that's it. I'll answer extra questions for you later.
Take your bow.
Oh.
Awesome. Beautiful.